oftentimes people think that Christmas has its roots in paganism. And the problem is that the evidence doesn't really demonstrate that. So when people say this, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for a number of reasons. It doesn't really matter, to be quite frank. Let's just say it did have pagan roots. It doesn't really matter. It kind of misses the point of what Christmas is all about. Like, if Christmas shouldn't be celebrated or promoted or whatever because of the pagan roots, it's like, well, we all were sinners once, and God cleaned us, right? If you're a Christian, God took a sinner and made them righteous, right? So that's just core biblical theology. Or like, let's say the cross used to be a symbol of evil and of torture, torment, punishment, fear. These symbols of the cross and of, let's say, the crown of thorns, of dread, and it's like, well, now it's a symbol of success, and not success in the sense of like, oh, I'm a successful person, but Jesus had the power over death itself, and now salvation is a symbol of Christianity and salvation, that Jesus, it has power over all that. So Christianity has this tendency, and in the Bible throughout the Old and New Testament, there's a tendency of God using evil for good. Go back to Genesis 1. Will God use evil for good? The story of Joseph, if you remember that. Now, Christianity did not borrow Christmas from the pagans. Actually, couldn't have, because, if you read the Gospels of Mark and Luke, it talks about the birth of Jesus Christ. So it's from the very beginning that we have stories of Jesus' birth and the whole narrative. And that's the foundation. Now, the celebration itself, Christmas, where we celebrate on the 25th, goes back really ancient, like way more ancient than even some of the other holidays that supposedly we copied from. And I wrote some articles on this, and I'll be writing more articles in the next few days and weeks up until Christmas. And this is in December of 2025. So if you have a chance, go down to the link down below, which I'll have the link to iApologia, and you'll see all the different articles where I have on this topic. I've written on this before, and I've talked about this every year pretty much around the time of Christmas. But I think it's really important because we have this framework that says that, oh, we shouldn't be celebrating. It's like, no, we should be. Like, this is huge. Like, we need to be promoting this, because this is the time of the year when people not accept it, but also expect us to talk about Jesus. So why not? Why not fulfill that? And it's no like criticism for doing it. Usually, I mean, there's some criticism, and it seems like the most criticism we get is from other Christians. Like, oh, you should not be celebrating Christmas because it has pagan roots. It's like, come on. This is a time to celebrate it to our best in the most hardest possible way possible. But here's why early Christmas Christians may have chosen December 25th. And it's not the pagan influence that did it. So I wrote the article here, and I'll just read through it. How about that? For many years, people have repeated the claim that Christmas was placed on December 25th because Christians copied pagan festivals like Saturnalia and the feast of Sol Invictus. While these festivals did occur around the same time, the earliest Christians' writings that refer to Christ's birth do not mention paganism as the reason for choosing December 25th. Instead, Christians in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th centuries used biblical reasoning, symbolic chronology, and theological reflection to calculate the dates of Christ's conception and birth. And this is making the point that we don't know for sure when Christ was born, what day of the year it was. But the 25th is just as good a day as any other day, if not better, because it's ancient, like goes way back. These internal Christian traditions give us a clearer window into how December 25th emerged. This explanation centers on the early idea of something that's called the integral age tradition, and on the March 25th date, which is going to be super important here, long associated with the Passion and later with the Annunciation. While this reasoning appears most clearly in writers of the 3rd and 4th centuries, it helps to show that the Christmas date came from inside Christian theological thinking, not as a reaction to Roman festivals. Early Christian interest in dating Christ's life. So Christians in the 2nd century were already attempting to calculate the important moments in Jesus' life. This is clear from Clement of Alexandria in AD 195, who records several Christian efforts to determine the exact date of Jesus' birth and his passion. Clement reports that some Christians proposed the dates in April or May of Jesus' birth. Others attempted to calculate the exact year, the date of the passion. So they were talking about this way early. Clement does not provide December 25th birth date, nor does he offer symbolic framework connecting conception to and crucifixion, while he does show that Christians were actively calculating, not ignoring or dismissing such dates. This undermines the modern claim that no one in the early Christianity cared about the date. They did. Then we get December 25th. Explicit evidence for December 25th in the early church. The earliest clear statement that Jesus was born on December 25th comes from Hippolytus of Rome, writing around AD 202 in his commentary on Daniel. Hippolytus says this: the first advent of our Lord in the flesh, when he was born in Bethlehem, was 8 days before the Calids of January. 8 days before the Calids of January, or December 25th, and more of a Greco-Roman culture. This testimony predates Sol Invictus festival by roughly 70 years, meaning that Christian date was already circulating before the earliest evidence for December 25th, and Imperial Sol Invictus celebration. If anything, I mean, you could something that people don't really think about is that another date that's really close to this whole thing is the Festival of Lights, or Hanukkah, and that's a very Jewish holiday that doesn't go back to Moses, but it does go back a few hundred years before Christ. So you could argue that it comes from Hanukkah too, so a Festival of Lights, so there could be a connection there as well. The integral age tradition and March 25th connection. Okay, so this is more of a speculation, tradition, stuff like that. While Hippolytus gives December 25th as a birth date, he does not explain how he arrived at it. The earlier clear explanation of the method behind such dates comes from Christian writers like Tertullian and Augustine. Step 1, dating the Passion to March 25th. Tertullian, who came in around the 1st and 2nd century there, the 2nd and 3rd century, in several works, places the Passion around March 25th based on the Jewish calendars calculations. He gives a date of the crucifixion in terms of the Passover, which Christian chronologists often translated into 25th of March in the Roman calendar. Step 2, matching conception to the crucifixion. By late 4th century, Augustine gives us the clearest articulation of the integral age tradition. And on his work Trinity 4.5, he states this: he is believed to have been conceived on the 25th of March, on which day also he suffered. Here we see the logic. Jesus' conception occurred the same calendar day as his death. This was viewed symbolically appropriate for the one whose life formed a perfect unity. So conception and death. Step 3, adding the 9 months. Once the conception was placed on the 25th, you just add 9 months to it. What do you come up when you add 9 months to March 25th? We get December 25th. This is the earliest fully explained Christian logic for December 25th. It is symbolic, theological, and based in Christian chronology, not pagan borrowing. Further evidence from late 4th century Christian texts. In the Apostolic Constitutions around AD 380, give one of the earliest liturgical calendars that state, keep the Feast of Nativity in the 25th day of the 9th month. In the Syrian calendar, this corresponds to December 25th. This shows that by the 4th century, December 25th was not only known, but already part of the established worship. It is important that this text, like others, provide no reference to pagan festivals as the motivation. And like I said before, even if it was a motivation, good for them. Contrast with pagan origin narratives. No Christian writer before the medieval period ever says that the church adopted December 25th in order to Christianize Saturnalia or Sol Invictus. Not one. The pagan origin view arises much later from post-Reformation speculation in the 18th, 19th century scholarship, not from ancient sources. Instead, what we find is this: Christians calculating the date of the Passion, a belief in symbolic coherence between conception and crucifixion. The tradition that placed the conception on March 25th and December 25th emerged as a natural result of this calculation. So, this does not prove December 25th as a historical correct date as Jesus' literal birthday. but it does show that the day came from Christian internal logic, not from copying pagan rituals or holidays or anything like that. That has nothing to do with it. All right. The early Christian tradition that led to the celebrating Christmas on December 25th was rooted in the theological symbolism and biblical chronology. Writers like Hippolytus, Tertullian, Augustine show that Christians were deeply engaged in understanding the timing of Christ's life long before any supposed need to compete with the Roman festivals. By grounding the conception on March 25th, the same date as the Passion, and counting 9 months forward, Christians arrived at December 25th as a meaningful and theological coherent date. This tradition offers a clear window into early Christian thought and demonstrates that December 25th celebration stands firmly within Christian historical reasoning rather than pagan influence. What do you think down below? If you like this video, please subscribe. I'll try to do more of these as time goes on. I'm trying to ramp up more video content. If you haven't noticed, I'm already on this channel. I'm hoping to do more, and hoping to do more of these types of situations where I'm, talking about different articles I'm reading either on my own website, blog here, or other websites, trying to share information that's out there. Also, check out the shorts, the YouTube shorts I have, and please like and subscribe. Go to this website and feel free to leave a comment there. Or also make sure you pick up the free quick guide over here to Science Affirmer Creator. I'd love to have you part of iApologia. You'll get updates when things are new things are posted, and other updates as well. With that, have a great day, and if I don't talk to you until after Christmas, have a Merry Christmas. Hopefully, though, we have some more videos, though, in the meantime.